Comhaltas Hick Pod Craic na Shatanya, show music at Maddens Lynette Fay. And each week here on the podcast, we are upstairs in Maddens Bar in Belfast, which is the home of traditional music in the city. And we invite members of our traditional music family in for a cosy chat. And this week, it feels like we're around the kitchen table in Ballyheifer, which is just outside Mullhooligans.
The People's Republic of Ballyheifer.
Of the Mulhollands, or have they just been telling me they're the Mullhooligans round the table? So we've Emmett and Dermot and Emer and Fenton. Falsharov, it's great to see you.
Thanks, Lynette.
And so many weeks we start the podcast saying, you know, these conversations can go anywhere. But honestly, after the preamble we've had there for the last 15 minutes, I really think it's true this week.
Absolutely.
15 minutes was generous.
15 minutes, can we just explain for anybody who's watching or listening? We were waiting on Fenton. You were late.
Standard. That's just totally normal.
Fenton runs on Fenty time.
But it's our fault because we didn't tell him the usual half an hour before, at least half an hour before.
It's all your fault.
So we can only blame ourselves.
Oh, it's brilliant. And Fenty was coming from the Armour Road. That's the joke. He's actually in Belfast. Everybody else was travelling for at least an hour to get here the day.
I was probably still in my bed whenever Ollie has left.
Love it. So, you know, and even the crack and the chat around the table, it's really obvious that you all get on really, really well as a family. So tell me, it's like round the kitchen table, how often does this happen now with life getting in the way?
Not very, unfortunately.
Basically never.
Yeah, it's pretty hard now with me down in Monaghan, Dermy in Stewartstown, Fenton up here in Belfast, and Emer's
I'm at home.
So, but yeah, it's hard to get the four of us.
Well, you say Fenton's in Belfast, but like half the time somebody goes, "Oh, like what's Fenton doing these days?" And I'm like, not sure what country he's in, not sure what time zone. I don't really know. Like, I think he's alive. I was talking to him like maybe a few days ago, but like,
he's actually easier to get whenever he's away out of the country. Like,
yeah.
So
He tends to look at the WhatsApp now and again when he's maybe sitting in an airport somewhere. Yeah. When he's at home, it's...
I actually think that's the only reason I replied to the chat about this is because I was in the airport and was like, oh yeah, I can do that.
And here was me thinking, it's no, sure, it's Lynette. Sure, we'll all get right. We'll all have the chance.
Oh, it's not personal. I ignore everything on my phone. I take days to reply, if not weeks.
Oh my God, because I was trying to work out before you came in how long I've known you. And like Emer, you said you're 28 now. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, it must be 20 years at least.
Could be.
From a matches. And what had used to happen was I presented a radio show on a Friday night and your mummy and daddy, Mary and Jimmy, would have been driving you to music classes. And they texted into the programme because they were listening to the tunes.
Yeah.
And that's how I then got to know you as a family, which is crazy. But you've your mummy and daddy to thank for you all being musicians, haven't you? Yeah,
absolutely,
big time.
Yeah, like I suppose mummy and daddy, as we were talking there earlier on, they don't play or whatever. They might. Well, no, mummy wouldn't sing now. Yeah, she wouldn't thank you for that. But daddy would sing the old rebel song maybe years ago and that. So, but they used to play a wee bit in marching band when they were teenagers, and I suppose that's where a wee bit of music came from. But I think it started then. I would have been obviously first in line, and it was the education board music lessons in school. So I started the classical violin, and it sort of.
And then it came along to Dermot's turn.
You let him do it.
They wouldn't let me do it.
He wasn't good enough.
They said I wasn't musical enough.
He wasn't musical.
So whenever the wee teacher came into school, she was like, right, can you clap in time? Apparently I couldn't clap in time.
No, that's true. You can't tap your foot in time. We call him Twinkle Toes because he's playing and his feet are going like this.
They were watching his toes going like this here.
You can't do it.
Back to the story. So the wee girl come in and apparently, according to her, she mustn't have been much of a music teacher. So I was no good, and our cousin Kelly had a violin at home from whenever she'd done it. Yeah. And of course this was no good. I was in bits about not being able to play the violin at school and had to take Kelly's violin home And Emma was starting to show me, how to play the violin. And it cut the collarbone off me. And I'm sitting up in his room crying. And I go, I can't do this. And so that was me. That was me done with music.
And to this day, he still
Can't play the
Can't play the fiddle. Try as you might.
But he just wants everybody playing the tiniest violin for him. But
I would class myself as a closet fiddle player. It should be left in the closet.
Yeah. Agreed.
But
very
every
good.
now and again it comes out and
Yeah, but you've more than made
Makes
up for
people-
it, because what do you play now?
banjo, bouzouki, mandolin, guitar, double bass,
Sing
stringy type things, yeah,
and sing.
and sing. Yeah, well,
Aye.
We all do that.
Try.
Yeah.
We all try and sing.
I think you were spending your whole life there trying to make up for that whole violin experience there,
so.
and more than compensated, I think.
Well, that's good. Thank you, Lynette. Thank you for that later.
And then Emer, you're a singer as well, and also a box player.
Yeah, so that kind of actually started out in the whistle first of all, and my teacher here beside me, again, similar kind of story, but like so the boys would start off with classical.
The tin whistle can't hurt you at least. The
yes, it
fiddle really
can.
hurt.
Yes, it can.
Only if you're not.
I was more
Can
talking
hurt
about the
your ears.
striking.
I'm just going to sit over here and just let you.
Stand back.
We need the referee. this could get heated.
Maybe this is why it doesn't happen so often now.
That's brilliant.
But I suppose you would have started with the classical and then like would have went to the Comhaltas, and you would have started off in the banjo there.
Well, it was
But
It actually was a
workshops.
So going back to the classical music, I was sort of getting to the point where I was getting fed up of it, and I wanted to stop. And then it was Mommy said, I seen an ad in the paper or something for Irish music workshops in Newbridge,
Right.
and she says, you take the fiddle down to it and see if you like the Irish traditional music. Because I hadn't done any of it, I suppose, before that, apart from maybe the odd wee tin whistle lesson down at Castle Dawson Club or something.
Yeah.
We were tots. And that was it. Went down to the fiddle class there. I think it was Brenton Henry who was teaching it that day, and that was it. Never looked back. Dermot fell in love with the banjo that day, and I think you pair were in
I was in
the.
a workshop with Seamus again.
You went to the bodhrán, and Emer went to the whistle, and that was probably the kickstart. And that workshop was just a weekend thing, and then that September it was signed up to the.
But there you are,
classes
but you were straight
and
in,
away we went.
but straight into the greats there. Like you saw Brendan Henry, who's just a master and a maestro on the fiddle, and not only that, then the knowledge he has to come with it. And the same thing with Seamus O'Kane, who was playing the banjo. Who was the
Joe
banjo?
Diamond.
Oh, stop it!
Mr.
You're
Banjo himself.
joking me.
How could you not be just
Paul.
smitten? with
We love you,
banjo?
Joe. We love you, Joe. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
So like between the banjo and actually Joe himself, like I don't know how many hours and hours that I spent over with Joe Diamond. Mommy, leave me over to Joe and come back later on sometime and tinkering away, playing banjos, learning how to set instruments up, and like amazing kind of the knowledge of songs even and everything.
Yeah,
you know.
but it's not even that. It's also the generosity that comes with it of giving you the time, giving you the knowledge, and making sure that the tradition is handed down. It's just so important, isn't it? But being able to tap into that, and all those people, and then them all being from Derry, which is very important to every single one of you.
As you well know, Lynette.
As I well know, because we were just saying there.
South Derry.
South Derry. This is so funny because that whole idea of the GAA and place and music, it's so important to use as a family. And I've always loved that about you. And the crack is always 90, especially in terms of GAA. And that, the sense of place, do you think that the music has brought you closer to being, or as opposed to understanding that identity?
That's a very hard question, Lynette.
Yeah.
But identity, yes, but in the fact that it doesn't have to necessarily be one tiny little spot, right? People's
Yeah.
Republic of Ballyheifer will always be that.
Yes.
But like we grew up just outside Marfell, and like the farm there, Granny on the farm and stuff. So that kind of widened that. We were out running around the fields and stuff out around there. So then we have the football in Castle Dawson Club.
Yeah.
And then you
And
have...
Camogie now.
And Camogie, sorry. My apologies.
Still playing.
Yes.
I know.
Good woman.
It's terrible.
Good girl.
Then you have the Comhaltas was like our great uncle Eugene Moran
Yeah.
from the Loop. And then we were like Mommy's from Ballyheifer. So like that whole, it's not, yes, gives you an identity of where you're from, but not necessarily that small tiny house that you came from. It's more like the whole
area.
of the area that all these things have all influenced
But
you.
we've,
Like, it's not-
we've always felt, as opposed, drawn to, say, songs from South Derry or well, especially Ulster. Ulster as a general rule anyway for
Yes.
our songs and that. But, you know, a couple of our favourite songs would be The Braes of Moneymore.
Granny's Money More.
Granny's
Yeah.
Yeah, that was her favourite.
And, you know, Sleeve Gallen Braes and all that,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So,
Oh, you have some mighty songs in Derry though. Like you're drawn from a fabulous well there. Like
Yeah.
cracking. Yeah. So going to the Loop then to Comhaltas. What was that? What are the memories of the car journey there? You know, and then going to the classes. Were you bouncing into them?
I have one memory. Somebody drove over your Boron one time.
What?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you left it behind the
Yeah, I left my boron behind the car.
instead of
And
putting it in the boot.
Yeah, and then Dad drove over it. Yeah. And I still have it, and it still works perfectly fine.
Good old Seamus O'Kane's.
Yeah.
Good old
Tough-
sturdy,
tough as nails.
sturdy okay.
There's a wee split in it. Dad glued it back together.
So this episode of Music at Maddens is brought to you by Seamus McKean Borons.
Yes.
And Joe did him and banjos so
Yeah.
far.
Yes. No, no.
That's some advert for Seamus's Borons, isn't it?
aye.
Never mind the tuning, like a car can drive over it, it still works.
Yep.
A fully loaded Volkswagen Chiron. And
Yeah.
it was just
Big
a wee
Britain
mic.
thing.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious.
For anybody picturing the 2CV, you know. That,
Oh, here. But no, but like going to the Comhaltas classes then, you know, how did that shape you?
I'd say that's some of my earliest memories anyway. Like, that's where I had started to muscle. Like, between going there, like, I'll never forget Eamon Mitchell doing the fiddle classes, and he always had a wee mark on his fiddle from where he was like, right, he tapped in with the end of his bow, and he only got it like refurbished there in the last few years, but he always had a wee mark, and he was like, right, after 2, 1, 2, and he always tapped on the fiddle. You know, but like we all had different rooms, and you went in, you had to sign in your name, and you paid your £2 or whatever it was per week. But that's definitely my earliest kind of memory of going to them to muscle classes. And like I played muscle until we went actually to the Pipers Club, but you would sort of maybe would have branched out a wee bit more than me. But
well, like Eamon Murray.
Damon Murray
the
was teaching
Boron
boron there.
Top,
there.
top the three of us boys, the
The
Boron.
three of us.
Eamon had his work cut out.
And then Eamon, I gave up, and then we went to
And then we went and tortured Gino Lafari
Yeah.
And that was more just, we went to Gino's house
for an hour on a Monday
on a
night.
Monday night for a crack.
Chatting
Yeah.
shit.
To talk
That was-
rubbish and listen to tunes.
That come in with us and all, and
Tip
he was
away
like,
board.
sitting in.
Because Gino wouldn't have liked that at all. Like,
Oh.
no.
He had no time for the crack. No.
Oh,
No.
oh, here.
He was the main perpetrator, I'm telling you. Yeah.
Oh God! But you know, even literally tapping into Gino there, you know, and him being one of the big personalities from around the town in music as well, and knowing his pedigree with 4 Men and a Dog, and you're coming into that, like how aware of that were you when you were that age, kind of learning music?
Really not.
No.
You know, like
It was just him as the
it was
person.
Just him. It was.
Which
Dad,
is lovely.
Dad knew this by Gino, and we went around the house, and that was it. You know, it was nothing to do with, you know, we didn't know that Gino was, you know,
Who he was.
Gino.
who he was,
Yeah.
like, you know, and you know, as far as were concerned, this was our Boron teacher, and that was the height of it, like,
Yeah.
and
even with Eamon Murray at the time, like the
Okay.
yoga were just starting to take off whenever we'd have been still going to lessons with him. And, you know, if you look at yoga now, you know, like New York and playing with Ed Sheeran and whatever else. And
I have to say now, Eamon is one of the best Boron players, but he also knows how to adjudicate the Boron very well.
Oh, here we go.
oh no.
Because there was what was it, the Derry Fla?
I did
The
sense
Derry
this
Fla.
was going somewhere here.
It was Derry Fla, and
yes.
once in whenever there's a blue moon and all the
Yeah.
we were all in the
Planets
same
all
age group.
aligned.
Planets all aligned that we were all in the same age group. Me and Fenton and Emmett. And I think what was it? Did you get last?
What are we
Well,
talking? Under
out of three.
are we talking under 12, 12 to 15?
It might have been senior one year, was it? Was it maybe
No,
your first-
it was maybe 15 to 18
Was
or
15?
something.
15 to 18, right.
was, which was obviously that's the pinnacle, and I won.
And he's the worst.
So hold on.
I got 99%.
But just establish that you've very little rhythm at the start of this conversation.
But I had two great boron teachers.
I think Eamon felt sorry.
I think it was a consolation
Pity.
kind of a thing.
Pity vote.
Had to be. There's no other reason for it.
But
What did
he
we
gave
do?
him first with 99. I think I got
Second with
second
98 and
he got
97.
third. Recommended through the Ulster with 97.
How you just get on to Ulster then?
Oh, I was nowhere to be seen.
The truth came out.
Good man, Huggy.
And my boron playing has not improved. One iota.
Have you even lifted one since?
Yes, well,
No, sure, I took it over 10 years and never gave it back to him. It's like, you don't need this. And just
I had the best boron, the best sounding boron until Fenton put a hole in it.
I did not put a hole in it. I played a hole in it. It took me 15 years.
Yes.
So you actually did do some practice then, because I'm just what I have in my head here of this vision of just nothing, only crack and talking and all the rest of it. Now you're going to your classes, once a week or whatever, or maybe even more often than that. So where does discipline come in and practice and all of that when it comes to your music?
Discipline is zero.
Zero.
I don't know how we managed it at all. Like
There's a funny story of one of our uncles, Hugh, came in one day and I'm standing with the whistle and the books open and I'm playing away and like somebody's in the same room with a different book playing a different tune and then somebody's in like the living room and then somebody's in a different and we're all playing.
The TV's on, the radio's on.
Mommy's
Ma's
like standing
cooking.
doing something like and he comes in and he goes, what is happening in here? How are you functioning?
He sat for about 5 minutes and just went, I'm sorry, I'm leaving.
couldn't stick the noise.
There was just always something going on everywhere. And I see even now, like whenever I'm doing work, I have to be sitting in the kitchen, headphones in, like TV on. Like I need chaos nearly in the background for to actually be able to focus. So that's literally how it was. And it was just mayhem the whole entire time. But we thrived on it, I think.
And also then I'm sensing from the crack here around the table, like, would you be competitive with each other?
Not a bit.
No.
Not at all.
Never.
Yes. Yes. Forever and always.
Who's the most competitive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Derby.
It's all going back to that fella.
I was going to play music one way or the other. Like, well, I had to beat it into submission, or it was normally beating Fenton into submission just to get me.
But then I just waited for Emmett to come along. Emmett used to be bigger than him,
Yeah.
if you would believe.
Oh my
One
gosh.
stage, yeah, but then Dermot kept growing and
We stopped.
I'm sort of still growing, but in the wrong way.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Everybody thinks that Dermot's the oldest, but it's actually Emmett. I always
Because of
have
my boy's good looks.
no, that's
all the
me.
grey
That's why I
It's
look
the
younger.
children.
And I'm also thinking, like, you went to classes and summer schools and workshops all over the place. Like, how and under God did they get anything done in the classes you were in, or we behaved whenever you went
They
when you went away
separated
from
us
home?
then. We went to different classes.
Right, that needed to
Different
happen.
different instruments, you see. That's
That was
what
the
his-
key. That was
Yes.
the key. Right. Okay. To progress.
Progress.
Okay.
Spread them out.
And then we
Yeah.
pretended to behave like normal people while we were, in the presence of other.
I don't remember that.
Okay, well, all of us except Dermot.
I didn't get that memo. Third Tracy O'Grady at their banjo classes in Tubbercurry had her work cut out for her.
Every year she's
Between-
coming and just
Between myself and Ted Kelly
Yeah.
and Shane Moore and Hallions
Yeah.
running around on wheelie chairs and Oh,
I do
Double
know
curry
what,
is
graceful
good crack.
behaviour.
now that I think about it, I may have been telling the porky there because I definitely remember stuffing bits of paper and tissue up Seamus O'Donnell's foot. And then he did the same to me on every joint of my flute. Then after the lunch break, I came in, the flute wasn't working. He'd done exactly what I'd done.
They are. It's all coming out now. And would Tubber Curry have been the highlight of the summer for you?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. Still is it?
I think for a long
Unfortunately,
time,
not now.
Yeah.
But I would love to go back.
Yeah, real life and work and babbies
Yeah.
and all that sort of just kind of gets in the way a wee bit. Not gets in the way, but just.
You don't have the freedom that you used to have to do these things. Yeah.
But I think when we were getting up, I think we missed 1 year in about 15 or 16 years. I think, we went.
And it was the worst year in history.
All right, Dermot. No need to be dramatic.
Modesty.
Yeah.
The modesty.
Yeah.
So then do you think...
No, as in for us. As in,
Oh,
it was
for you,
terrible
it's all right.
for us.
It's probably terrible. Oh, I thought it was terrible for
No,
the Tubber Curry as
They
well.
were probably very happy.
Agus clacimid brisú anish le couple of focal a bheith ogin ó Urahori and Fad Crealta. A couple of words now from the sponsors of this week's podcast, Music at Maddens. And Ardra Single Malt Irish Whiskey is a heavily peated, triple distilled, all grain in whiskey that signals a bold revival of Donegal's lost distilling tradition. Ardra Single Malt Irish Whiskey has already been awarded a gold medal at the Irish Whiskey Masters 2025 in the Single Malt Super Premium category, and it's a true product of place. This whiskey, it's uncompromising in character, and for over a century, regional distinctions in Irish whiskey has been lost, replaced by conformity. But Ardra Single Malt Irish Whiskey breaks this trend, reclaiming Donegal's distinctive character, made with the heavily peated malted barley, distilled with the grain in matured, sherry forward in American bourbon and virgin oak casks. And to learn more about Ardra Single Malt Irish Whiskey, you can check out the Ardra Distillery on Instagram at Ardra Distillery. Also sponsoring this week's Music at Maddens is Boatyard Distillery, situated on the banks of Lough Erne in County Fermanagh, dedicated to producing the best gin on the island of Ireland. Its Boatyard Double Gin, which has been made with martinis in mind, is pouring in some of the best bars around the world. And Boatyard is proudly B Corp, becoming the first B Corp certified distillery in Ireland in February 2023, underlining its commitment to social and environmental performance, accountability and transparency. The team works closely with local farmers, uses organic ingredients wherever possible, and designs their processes to reduce waste and impact. And we ask you to drink responsibly and over 18s only.
Yeah.
And then do you think, in a way, it was like a superpower that you all did, the different instruments as well? Because then, when you do play together, you can bring an extraordinary range to the table, like literally. And when it comes to arranging tunes or singing songs as well, you've really got it all.
Definitely helps, yeah.
I think it wasn't even intentional either. You'd start off in the fiddle through the classical, you liked the banjo. We both started off in whistle, but you went flute, and then I wanted to be like my mummies and I wanted to play accordion. So that's where that came from the marching band kind of thing. And then when we went to the Pipers Club, it just sort of spiraled a wee bit more, and you were good at stringed instruments. You just picked up the guitar yourselves and just
I took this mad notion of the pipes.
Why?
yeah.
Just a nice wee challenge there for yourself, Fenton.
Still wondering
Loves
about
to
that
torture
one. I play pipes and drums. What is wrong with me? People see me coming to do a gig and they're like, what? Car full of stuff.
You nearly need a van.
Yeah.
I probably do.
Yeah.
And that experience of the Pipers Club then, and again, that's piling you all into the car on a Monday night, driving you down from Ballyheifer down to Armagh. That's at least an hour. It's full hour, is it? A good hour.
Yeah.
And the discipline of that. Then you have your 2 hours of classes, and you have your 2 hours of classes at the Pipers Club, because that's the way they roll there. How did that bring you on as musicians?
Leaps and bounds.
Massively.
Yeah.
Leaps and bounds.
It was, I suppose, the caliber of tutors that were available at the Pipers Club at the time. You had Brian Finnegan teaching the whistle.
Yeah.
You had
Martin Meehan teaching the
Martin Meehan
flute.
on the flute.
Yeah,
Mark
Tiernan
Mulholland.
Dinkin.
Tiernan Dinkin on the
pipes.
pipes.
Killian Valley popped in the odd time.
Yeah.
It's just a wealth of.
Like Caroline Judge on the box, Jerry Lappin, like, and to this day we still quote Caroline and stuff. You know, like she taught me for years there, and like I've so much to like. I owe so much of my box playing to her, and like, but there was so many people, and that were mentioning like workshops and festivals and everything. Like we were taken to everything, like, and we have to thank Mum and Daddy.
Exposure.
Yeah, because like we were talking there before we started, we went to Gort for a day one time. Like
This is Gort, County Galway.
Yes.
On the border with Clare.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Was that the day we picked up my flute? Or was that a different
No,
day?
that was a different one.
Oh, so we went a different day to Galway City just to pick up my flute.
And then we drove home to see the Michael McGoldrick big band that night at Custom House. The festival.
That was that night. Ah, okay.
So we drove. Dad took us in the car. Of course, did we all have to go? Probably not. But
Well, we did in the
we
end.
all ended up going to Galway for this flute of Fintons from San Marie, and got the flute. Whatever. 12 o'clock. Back up the road into see Michael McGoldrick on the Custom House. I think it was.
But like
and
that
that time in Galway was at the
Gort.
works. To Gort was up
You
at
were
the
fit.
Craic at dawn.
I had just got my provisional license, I think. So I think I did some of
Arcade's
the
up.
driving on the way home, at least. Anyway, yeah.
But like it was a 3 a.m. start to be down in time for the workshop starting at 10, say.
Before.
So it was like a cool box with the milk in and bowls of cereal and all, you know, like, and then you bring it all with you. You have your breakfast before you go in,
and the map.
and the map.
The actual
Before
map.
Google Maps, like it was like, and what about this road? And
Oh,
we have some stories about that there, asking the boy for directions one time. And he goes, if you see that wall, just ignore it. Keep going and do that. Like, oh.
Jesus, you'll never find it in the dark.
Ah, yeah, that's another one.
Oh,
but it's down here to the left and down, but you'll never find it in the dark. And you go,
Daddy throw straight to it.
so is his
That's
his
one of his
directions were
favourite.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
If there's a man gonna find it in the dark, it's Daddy.
It's not brilliant, but
Well, actually, that's a lie, because we tried finding the first time we ever went to Hayden's bar.
Oh God, no.
I said,
good luck to anybody trying to find Hayden's. Come
And
on.
again, this was pre Google Maps and all that kind of stuff. It was, yeah.
So
Driving
coming
around
from
fast.
Marfeld down towards Dungannon or whatever, down the big road there, and there's two roads that run parallel to the other.
Yes.
Thornhill Road is the one you're supposed to take, but there's one before that or after. I can't even remember. It's before that, I think. Daddy managed to take that one, and up and down the road. Stephen, where is this pub at? If you go back, there's a big lorry yard. I seen it.
Well, he's lucky enough with reception.
I know.
I know.
Very, very lucky. So, whatever time that was, like Tuesday night, and we're all at school. Like, it wasn't like we were up around. So,
Which has been, do you know, just when you say that about, you know, we'd have been at school, the Monday night, even that run to Armagh,
Yeah.
and then your classes are over at 9 o'clock, and then it's 10 o'clock before you're home, whatever, homework, all the rest of it, going into school blurry-eyed the next day.
didn't do homework.
What about the tiredness? No, you know, did you ever feel out of it? Did you feel exhausted from all the running about, or was it just from pure adrenaline?
I slept in the car or slept in the pub. I have the famous like nickname of, or like I used to meet people all the time and they'd be like, okay, mind you used to sit in your mommy's knee, you'd be sleeping in the corner, you were carried out of every pub in Ireland. But not from being drunk, like, because I was sleeping in every pub in Ireland, I swear.
You're making up for that now. Though.
No.
Well, and then the rest of us boys still playing, but I suppose we were just full of enthusiasm and,
Yeah.
Just
and,
loved it. Loved every minute.
loved the
of it.
music.
I can also imagine that if we hadn't have been ran ragged all week long, imagine the four of us in the house with nothing to do.
I know.
Yeah.
That would have been torture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it
Well,
was
even
easier
more so
to
than
do everything all
Yeah.
the time.
because we like you mentioned about the Gaelic, but like we were at everything besides that. You know?
Swimming club on a Thursday night, and then going down to Poke and Choke from a wee double cheeseburger and red sauce and comfort of chips.
And we were at karate. We were at
I did camogie, I did
Fitness.
Irish dancing till I was 20.
I
Like,
don't believe
Fenton
you.
was
Yeah.
well,
Fenton's a black belt.
before he was 16.
Yeah.
Stop it.
And he still couldn't win.
I played squash for Ulster.
Like,
everything
Ever?
under the sun.
yeah.
I don't know where we fit it in the music when
This is all your, this is incredible. Like, this is all your like hidden talents coming to the fore here around the table. I had no idea about any of that. Oh my gosh! And then you see the because you're all brilliant musicians as well, and then you've all been involved in bands. Like, you know, you play together as a family, but you're all involved in bands. You're doing always these side projects on all the time. Do you think it was the experience of the Armagh Pipers Club that got you interested in that kind of idea of collaboration and performing together with others?
Like, yes, the coldest thing had like the group of coals and stuff like that, but the Pipers Club give opportunity more to look at that band like
And performance.
kind of thing, you know, like we you know, they do their like, you know, the
in the second
concert and
term
the
or whatever, they
St. Patrick's
mash
Day.
all the classes all together and we put on a group performance.
Yes.
So, and having that opportunity to play with other instruments and not just be in the fiddle class or the banjo class or whatever, and play on a stage, then it's a great part of what they do in the Pipers Club. But I think
most of like,
I think a bigger part maybe of the bands, or one of the biggest parts, was probably the Scienza competition,
Through school.
which was we introduced. I can't remember the first year we did it. Myself and Michael Laverty would have been in our last year at school, I think. So we'd have been.
What school did you go to?
St Mary's Grammar in Marfeld.
Sam Cuddy was
Sam
the music
Cuddy,
teacher.
music teacher, and
We got him. What do you call it?
Converted?
Converted to trad music.
yeah, because Sam wouldn't have been a trad head
At all.
No.
at all. But
Loved
probably loved it, and still loves it.
But he had Hellions like Eamon Murray and Joe and Soggy.
Sean O'Graham wrote, I think, all of Eamon's A-level compositions. Maybe shouldn't be telling that out in the airwaves, but I'd say it doesn't matter at the stage. But Eamon and Sam
God,
told us
Huggy's getting a choir touch today.
but sure, that got Eamon to where he is today, you know. So, but no, Sam was great, and I think the school had done. I think it was called Sluggy.
Yeah, Sloggy was before that. Yeah, I'm that old. I remember that one. Yeah.
So then the Scienza started up again or whatever. Or we heard about it, and we were like, sure, we'll put a group together. We'd been playing, I think, with Ballyheifer, Comhaltas at the time, and we had come second in the group of Kjol. The senior group of Kjol, with the likes of Emer at 10 years old.
I was still in the under 12,
Yeah.
like, and here I'm sitting.
On the
Feet dangling.
feet dangling off the chair, playing in the senior group of Kjol competition. But there'd have been a good amount of us in the school were part of that as well, and we're like, gosh, we'll knock a Scienza group together, and I think went from strength to strength then after that, and then a few years down the line, Dermot and Finton and a few other lads won the Scienza then.
Yeah.
2010.
And then, like, winning that, participating in it, and arranging your music in a particular way for that, working, you know, collaborating with others, I suppose thinking outside the box in a way and seeing the possibility of music, and then winning it. Do you know, what did that mean to you at that age? I suppose you do feel like, because you've basically won an All Ireland, and you feel like, you know, you must have felt like a king.
But it was more than that. Like, it wasn't like we had been working towards like Scienza for years at that stage.
Yeah.
You know, in some shape or form. Like, but it was the first year we kind of went outside the school, like really outside the school limits. Like, there was myself and Finn, and then Declan McGee and Niall McCrickard, and Kieran Hanna and Niall Murphy.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Downhill.
More or less.
Pretty much.
It's like a wanted read list of most wanted
Egypts at that time.
bad Egypts from late 2000s.
That's about right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's how SKH formed. It was just like we were at the Scienza, and I managed to talk Declan and Niall in like a couple of years previous with some of the ones that was left, because obviously Emmett and Michael had left school, so they were on, and we needed
too old
replacements. We were too old, and like Emer was too young to be at that crack. So
Of course, I was never allowed to do any fun things. It's like, no, that's our wee sister. She's too young.
Kramer. Oh.
My turn for the small fiddle, but I swear, I missed out on all of it.
You're making up for it now. Weren't you at the Oireachtas last night?
Yes, of course.
very fresh. You're looking
Seriously, you were at the artist last night and you're here looking this fresh? What?
Well, she did tell us.
My hoohin.
Took her
Girl,
2.5 hours to put makeup on
this morning. So.
That's a lie. Lies.
You ring me.
Because you don't answer your phone.
It takes 2.5 hours to get ready.
Just to wake up.
Oh my god! But come here, I'll get back to that because after you've gone downhill clearly with that gang of retrobates.
Yes.
But Eskage, that band was just brilliant. I remember having them in Blascoil years and years ago. The energy, the crack, the devilment as well. But every single one of you is like phenomenal musicians.
It was amazing time. Like we. So
What were
much so
you,
that
18?
roughly
Aye.
in around that kind of age, like, and like we won the chance of competition, and then sort of done a few like bits and pieces of gigs here and there, and all the radio and a few TV things and all that kind of stuff. And then again, it was probably through the school was the first one of these like BBC Folk Award things.
Folk Award,
And
yeah, because we had done that with
Kincha,
which was a
the previous
Yeah.
iteration of a band that included myself and Michael Laverty and Aidan Darrow, Donala
and
Kieran
Kieran Hanna as well. We done a blast call with that way back when.
Yes.
And like we eventually managed somehow to win that, but then you have the prize for that was like getting away to Cambridge Folk Festival.
Yes.
And Cropperty Folk Festival, Towersey and Clongauchlin.
You're very proud of that pronunciation there, weren't you? Yeah. Let's let's take a moment.
Clongauchlin. Not as we used to call it. But we got away to all these like amazing
cool
places, like and
playing live on Sky Arts with the Unwanted Trio
and Can
and everybody.
Amazing.
And Shane shouting over to us in the middle, we'll just let the last one,
And not only that, like, because, it was only Jarlath Henderson before you that had won it from here. And even the recognition for music from this part of the world was just huge. It was putting us on the map.
Yeah.
With the Radio 2 Folk Awards, I think it's fair enough to say at that stage they wouldn't really have passed much remarks on music in this part of the world. And then you were very slowly, I was going to say opening doors, but you were kind of banging them down.
They just took one look at us.
And they just had to listen to the energy.
Get out of here. Whatever we have to do to get these boys out of here.
Yeah, but also with this kid, what you were tapping into, the names you've mentioned there, those boys were from all over. So you're bringing Derry and Tyrone and Down and Armagh all together. And that's 4 counties and all the talent from those counties coming together. You were tapping into something. And it'd be fair to say, these are all still friends with these people.
Yeah.
They're all still friends. There's a big circle. Yeah. And I suppose that's what we're trying to celebrate on this podcast here is that, this is the community, the family that we're all part of. And then the get-togethers, like the crack is 90.
Yeah.
It's just, what has music given to you, as a person? And how does it add to your life every day?
The crack. Oh my God, the crack. Like, just popped into my head there. The first week, I met Declan McGee. Like, we were in Gaeltacht. Right, and
is it Maharorty?
Maharorty. Do you remember Marwinshire Coil?
Oh, cheers!
Agus Glanton Glasgow door.
Oh, start.
I tell you, that was the first place I learned that from your good self, Lynette. And the weekend before, I think, was like the Ulster Flan. There was a lock in what do you call it?
Mulhollands.
No, the other one across the road from McGinn.
Castlewell.
And that was the first time I ever met Declan McGee. And then we went and we were on the course together in Maharorty. And in the middle weekend of that course, Tony Graham had the weekend
in Kerry Keel.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I was like, Declan, come on up here with me for the crack till this weekend. Like Tony, do you know Tony? He's bodhrán player from Portland direction. We'd have been big into like the gig in the van and that, you know. And like he took us and Michael Laverty to a weekend in Newcastle somewhere.
Sedgefield. There we go.
Sedgefield to Hardwick Arms.
Yeah.
Sedgefield just to play music. Like Tony and us three and Mick Lav, you were too young, you were.
Again.
That's the theme here.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
we were
Tony
from
and
the
three teenage boys, 4 teenage boys away to England for the weekend just to play music.
You get no J2Os to play some music.
JTOs, like not even pints. JTOs.
We must have drank that many, and we were just bouncing off the walls. I remember breaking a few lights and stuff,
During our
like
pillow
not on
fight.
purpose.
Yeah.
We were
During our pillow fights.
we had a pillow fight that got a little out of hand that just kind of became a fight, and then
But sure, that's what you have to do, so you get it out of your system when you're that age.
indeed.
So poor Emer left behind, and we'll play the small fiddle again for.
Thank you.
But Emer, my goodness, are you shining now at the minute? Like you're flat to the mat singing the national anthem at every football match going. So where was it? You were in Craic Park there, sang the national anthem in Craic Park, didn't you?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, the 2023 ladies football final, and that was a great year. I sang in St Tiernick's Park as well for the Ulster final, where Derry won. Yeah,
Up Derry.
up Derry. And I also sang at the World Games that year as well, which was in Derry. So that was great. But I suppose that all kind of came through score and things. But like, it's funny now, people meet you and be like, oh, you sing the national anthem. I'm like, yeah, but I do sing other things too. I do have more than one song, but it's a massive honour. Like, I love that. And funny, I was down in Craic Park there. We did the wee tour of Craic Park, and I asked the tour guide, I was like, why do they not sing Around the Vein at the men's football and hurling finals? And she was like, that's a great question. I must actually find out, because the ladies always would have it sung and things, but they play it, of course, before the men's and hurling. But
What's it like to step out and to have that role on those big days?
I love it. People always ask me, am I nervous? And like, I remember one time, Fintan, whenever I wasn't driving yet, I think I was learning, and me and you went up to Owenbeg, and I was asked to sing the national anthem, and it was one of the first times ever, and I was on the L plates in the golf. So Fintan came up, Fintan's like, I have no recollection of this whatsoever.
I'm sure I remember somewhere.
But we drove up anyway, and I went in. It was one of the first times, and I remember coming out and going, Fintan, like, what did you think? And you were like, well, you started, and like, I think I did like change notes at the very start, and he's like, and I was like, oh God, I was so nervous at the start, and Owenbeg, it wasn't even that, and of course Fintan was going to be honest with me and tell me that it wasn't good, but that was like, what, I was 17, like that's more than 10 years ago, and like, people now go, oh, do you get nervous? I'm like, not a bit, because I find it like, it's such an honour to go out and sing, and I love singing it, like something to do with clubs. Like club finals is unreal, the atmosphere is unbelievable, and everybody singing along with you is class. Like I do love it, but in Craic Park, like it's so echoey.
Yes.
So you get your monitors and all, and I was like, this is so professional. Yeah. Like, and I had a wee practice with the RTN band and all out in the tunnels underneath.
That must be really surreal that you're practicing with the RTN band.
Like, it was unbelievable, and seeing your name in the programme in Craic Park, of all, like, names in the programme for Celtic Park or whatever, and like, that's massive for anybody, for so many young singers coming through, but Craic Park was just something else. It was unbelievable, but I'd say I was more nervous singing in St Tiernick's, because Derry and Armagh were playing that day, and
If they had lost, it would have been your fault.
But it's the Ulster final, and the Ulster final is so important. It's such a big day for Ulster football.
Exactly, and funny.
And Ulster football is obviously the best football as well.
Course.
So it's the best day in the whole calendar.
Obviously.
When I sang in Craic Park, I think Down were in the ladies junior, but the other, like, it was Dublin and Kerry were in the senior final. So I didn't really know anybody in Craic Park, and but that day in St Tiernick's Park, everybody from Derry was there. Every man, woman, child, dog was there. Like, you couldn't. And then if they weren't there, they were watching in the TV. And I mind, funny, in St. Tiernack's Park, they gave out the wrong name. So John Keenan, the county chairman, was raging because he's a Castle Dawson man. He loves the club being represented anywhere, and they gave out that I was some woman from Limavady, and he was like, "You have one job. You have one job, and you can't even get our name and club right." To the man who was giving out, it was hilarious. Because then in the park, people were coming up to me going, "Was that you singing?" I was like, "Yes, it was me singing, for God's sake." But they got it right in the TV, so everybody who was watching the TV knew it was me, but it was hilarious. But that was probably the best, was singing in Clonus. It absolutely rammed, and everybody, it goes so quiet. It's all nice and quiet, and then you just start singing. Everybody's singing with you. The atmosphere is unbelievable.
You've just built it up there, and it's like you're getting the goosebumps even thinking of that moment.
It's class.
It's brilliant, and you know what? As viewers as well, so proud to see you there. It's just brilliant to see you shining.
Thank you.
And on a stage that big, it's brilliant to see. And singing as a family. What do you get out of singing together? Because whenever you do sing together, the harmonies, everything you put into it is so special. Like your version of England's Motorways is still one of my favourites. It's absolutely beautiful. And that version on the Blackwater Band's album is just class, because you just haven't recorded your own album yet.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Maybe something.
Yeah.
But what is it about singing together though as a family?
Don't know. I suppose
Is it bringing calm to the chaos?
Maybe.
You know, that type of thing, where
I was kind
all
of
the
just-
chaos just kind of comes together.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, like, it's one of the only times where Dermot's not making some sort of racket or like we have practices for, you know, different things that we're doing, and like it's always the three of us. It's like, no, we're all bad.
Yeah.
But Dermot is by far the worst, because we'll all end up sitting there just like, come on,
twanging.
we need to like do
Twanging
something,
and
get something
noodling
on.
and footers. And
Back to the violin, like it's all back to it.
back to the
I'm telling you.
Did somebody tell you had musical Tourette's one time?
Definitely. Did I told you that? I can't remember that.
Can't sit still. Can't sit still.
No.
Oh my goodness. What's your favourite song to sing together?
Oh, what a hard question.
At the minute, it's probably Brazen Money More.
Yeah. That's a special one.
It always was a special one, but ever since Granny passed away there a couple of years ago, it has taken on just an extra wee. It's just
Meaning?
nice. It was always her favourite song. She's from Moneymore, and
up in the Lusky, where you get the whisky. It's there I'd like to be. Not in Mulhollands, the dirty gullion. I'd rather be tied to a tree.
That was the wee speak that Granny used to come out with. So
She was in the Lusky.
that was her.
her wee Thailand.
And how special was she to you?
But there's no words.
Yeah, she was. I suppose, Granda Emmett died about a month before I was born, or 2 months before I was born. So I was named
Namesake.
after him. I was the first, his first male grandchild. I don't know if he knew I was going to be a boy. I think he told Mommy, "You've a wee boy there," you know, because he always wanted a boy grandchild or whatever. And all of the cousins older than
You'll
me
make me
were,
cry.
we're all girls, bar one wee cousin who died in infancy. But then he died, like I say then, and that's 36 years ago or whatever. And Granny was always there. She only lived up the hill, and she looked after us and fed us here, there, and everywhere. And
Yeah. He was the only person brave enough to look after our Dermot.
Oh.
nobody would take him on. He was just hard work, and
Yeah.
he still is to this day.
But Granny was.
Yeah, and she, but like to have her for so long, she was
Yeah.
97,
Six.
96.
She was almost.
She was heading for 97.
Yeah.
And like I say, and we just loved going up to Granny's and sitting around the sitting room it was always a thing at Christmas anyway.
Yes.
But we'd have been up obviously more often than that, but in the last few years it was always Christmas because we'd have been scattered everywhere. We went up to Granny's and sat in the living room and played her a few tunes and sung her a few songs, and you know, even at the end she had a wee bit of dementia and that, and we nearly actually there came a point where we couldn't sing Brace 'Em anymore because she'd get annoyed nearly. You know, she just thought she was
Had to go back.
home to Money more. So we refrained in the last wee while because it just upset her a wee bit. But yeah, it was. So we sang it at her funeral, and it's just been a special one for us, I suppose, since. So.
Oh, well, I hope that just record it soon, and I hope that just go in and get an album or something done soon, because like
We will.
the music, I know we haven't heard any of the music today, but the Craic ideas is unbelievable. It's something else, and you've always been like that. But the music as well it really stands on its own, because you're so immensely talented as a family and as people. And that, what a gorgeous tribute to your granny. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Yeah. And you know what? She'd be so proud of all of you. So proud of you.
We did like a memorial concert type of thing.
Yeah.
And at that stage it was like we decided to do, like, I'm a massive Christy Moore fan. Like, massive. And so we decided to do like a Christy Moore tribute night. And it kind of, there's a couple of things that stem from, like, there was a weekend in Marfelt that was cancelled because there was no tickets sold for a night that we were supposed to be playing for and all this kind of stuff. But we'll not go too deep into that.
That's for another podcast.
That's for the B-side.
Yeah.
But so we said, right, stuff you, we're going to put on a concert, and
Fella Hall.
And we're going to take nothing out of it. We did it for Dementia NI and Marie Curie. And filled the hall, raised £7,000 for the two charities, and I put on a big night for Granny, and it was absolutely lethal.
Yeah.
Class.
But it was just a fitting tribute to her as well. And she'd never a big fuss woman or anything like that, but she loved music. She loved us playing music.
We loved us playing music.
I'll never forget whenever we'd have been playing or singing or whatever, and she just would have had her hands crossed on her knee, and she just would have been tapping the wee hand, and that was just the way, and she loved it, and she'd have been clapping really lightly then whenever you finished and all. But she loved it, so it was good.
It's very nice to be able to just do that as a tribute, and it's great. The music allows you to do something like that
and give back.
and give back, exactly.
Yeah.
Because we've got so much from it, and it's such an easy thing to carry. You know, it's
unless you're Fenton and the drums and the pipes.
That was leading to such a lovely poignant moment. Just destroyed it.
And Dermy just dermied it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! But you know what? I am gonna call an end to this first edition of the Mullhooligans on Maddens and Music at Maddens, because I have a funny feeling we're going to be chatting again. I have a funny feeling we'll have to do part 2 and maybe definitely do the B-side that time, and maybe by that time we'll have an album.
You never
recorded.
know. You never know.
You never.
If the planets align, you know that.
Anybody listening to this podcast, will you pile the pressure on them now to do the album? Every time you see them, ask, what about that album? What about that album? What about that album?
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's always the best people who don't have the albums recorded.
Have you been speaking to our ma?
Yes, Mary and I had a quick chat this morning before we did this. But come here, thanks a million. Great to chat to you. Amit, Dermot, Emer, August Fenton. Míle buíochas.
Lynette.